a joke, right? But I will talk a little bit about what's scaring people today. I'd love to tell you that I have really great insight into what's going to happen in the next couple of months, but I don't. And maybe that is a joke in a way, because we're here to try and figure out what we're going to be facing, and we'll start off with this one. These are challenging times, but honestly, don't be afraid. Oh, sorry. These are challenging times, but we don't need to be afraid. Stay calm, be informed, seek help, and stay together. I mean, today this is a record turnout for a luncheon because of the topic, and we all do need to stay together. Share information amongst ourselves and with our clients, and have a plan of action. I mean, we got to do something. We can't just hope that this is going to go away. And move forward. I mean, we really have to continue to always be thinking about the future. We've used some, when we put this together, we have our little Halloween thing up there. So we use some, some words. Today's frightful economic conditions. Steve actually covered all of this, most of it in his discussion. But, let's think about the global problem that we have. In 1987, that was the United States alone. 1991, it was the United States alone. Japan has actually been in recession for almost 7 years, and it did not have the impact on the rest of the world that this crisis is having on us. So, as much as I'd love to say we're going to come out of this instantaneously, there was a report yesterday on MSNBC by one of the pundits saying that this is all going to end by June of '09. I have it in my briefcase. That's the only one I saw that said that. I must admit. But look at what we're dealing with. Capital markets.
You know who that was?
Business. I'm not sure what group this guy is with, but and I don't know how many people printed off the article, but there is some information in Giving USA recent study that does say most recessions run 8 to 11 months. Now, I think that's when it's been declared. One of the things that, I feel we've been in recession for 8 months already, before people actually started using the word. And so we're running much longer than that already. But cost of doing business, cost of living increases, credit crunch affects business and consumers. Your joke is really true. I mean, our 401k statements, I was hoping to retire in 3 to 5 years. I don't know now. I think I'm going to have to be around forever. That's a pretty frightening thought when I put in as much time as I already have. But, and fear of the unknown. I think that's really the one. That's our biggest challenge to talk about today is the uncharted territory that we're in and the impact of this crisis. Now, here is a good one. Okay. The economy will get better. It always does. Now, as fundraisers, I've gone on record for years saying that fundraising is recession-proof because in the past, we've not had dramatic changes when there's been a recession. In '87, we actually mailed more. In the 90s, we mailed more during that short period of time because we needed to continue to grow the base, and we also needed to make sure that we were treating our renewing donors in a better manner and talking to them more often. So things do get better. Based on the economic history, the economy does continue to grow. As much as we don't feel it now, it will come back and it will grow. The capital markets may come out stronger after the correction. I mean, the crash of 1987 took everyone by surprise. I was actually at a meeting at the American Bible Society that day. Joe? And I'll tell you, we just couldn't believe it. In fact, the whole agenda was gone. I mean, all we were talking about was how could this have happened? 25% of the market in one day. It is just frightening. I mean, it's taken us almost 3 months now to lose 25% of the market instead of one day. But it came within 8 months. It was over, and we were back. And people stayed in. They stayed in the mail, and then they stuck with their donors. So they we didn't have a real knee-jerk reaction. I think primarily because it was so fast. We didn't have time to think about it, a knee-jerk reaction. And as I said, there is this gentleman who thinks that it's going to be over by June of 2009. Nonprofits are spooked by the economy. Our marketing group has some, sense of humor. Higher demand for services. 2 of our clients have seen a 30% increase in service needs. Now, these are regional clients. They do deal with shelters and homelessness and food banks. But they have not come up with, and I have to be honest, even though we have raised a great deal of money for them, we have not been able to raise 30% more to support that program instantaneously. And that's where we're seeing the hits. But we're also seeing that the word, that need, if the donors can see a tangible need, they tend to respond much better. Operational costs are rising. The informal survey, we have several clients that have had layoffs. We have 2 clients that have frozen all of their positions. They're not replacing people who are leaving. And a lot of this is coming from board members. The boards are saying, whoa, hold off on expenditures. And that's going to be, I'm going to talk about this in a few minutes, that's going to be one of your biggest challenges is how do you manage your board and your executive directors during this time as far as budget cuts, hiring freezes. So next interesting title, the hair-raising state of fundraising. When you're talking about these kind of topics, you got to have some information in here that gets us a little out. Cutbacks in foundations. This is really one of the most serious issues, I think, facing many of the not-for-profits. Foundations have to give out 5%. That's kind of the rule. Many of them have been giving out 7, 10, 12% in good times. Now they're going back to 5, and they're going to be selective about the 5% that they are giving, who they're giving it to. So grant writing, all of this trying to preserve the foundation giving is enormous. In our area outside Boston, the financial community has been an enormous supporter of many, many charities. Already we know several of them that the grants are not going to be given again. One of our clients, this was in the nonprofit Times recently, Doctors Without Borders, always received a $25,000 grant from Lehman Brothers. Lehman Brothers is no more. Now, the foundation does exist, but they don't know if they're going to, it's all pending. And when you think of Merrill Lynch and you think of all of these organizations that were huge supporters of the arts and shelters and homelessness, they're just not ready to hand out that money again. So it's going to make the job of the fundraiser even harder because somehow we've got to try and figure out how do we make up what they're not going to be getting. And that's very serious. Government support, we know that has fallen off. Corporate giving is down. I was at an event the other night. A lot of people didn't show. They did buy their ticket, but they didn't show. The DMA in Las Vegas, attendance was way off. So discretionary income, discretionary spending for meetings and things like that, other than this meeting, it's being cut off. I mean, and the other thing we've seen a little trend, and there's some of this in the TAG study, major givers are reducing some of their costs, some of their gifts, the size of their gifts. The other thing, and I don't know if we have some plan giving people in this room today, but a lot of the money that has been pledged was based on securities that don't have the value they had when those major gifts were being pledged. And so there's another area that's going to make our daily fundraising much harder because someone's going to have to try and figure out how do we make up for the lack of those kind of gifts. Cultural groups, supposedly, in 2 of the studies that were written, and I refer to in back here, are being hit the hardest. becomes a question of, as we say, need to do versus nice to do. And that goes back to that tangible need. If you're saving a life, if you're helping to feed someone, clothe someone, get medicines to people, international relief, those are the ones that appear to be taking a hit, but not to the extent of the cultural organizations. And I know you're here from the New York Philharmonic. Are you seeing that or sensing that there's